let's learn more about the process of photosynthesis. Now, plants produce carbohydrates by the process of photosynthesis. Okay, so carbohydrates are made from carbon, hydrogen, and oxygen. Now, proteins are made from carbon, hydrogen, and oxygen and nitrogen. So, how do plants obtain the nitrogen necessary for the synthesis of proteins? Synthesis of proteins means how the proteins are formed. So, air contains gaseous nitrogen. So, air has nitrogen, we know that. Okay. But, however, plants cannot utilize the gaseous nitrogen. Okay, they only take carbon dioxide. Now, it needs to be fixed. That is, the nitrogen needs to be fixed. What do you mean by that? That is, it needs to be converted into compounds. The nitrogen, that is the gaseous nitrogen, needs to be converted into compounds. And this is called the fixation of nitrogen. Now, fixation of nitrogen occurs by biological and atmospheric methods. Now, let's learn about it. Biological fixation of nitrogen. Now, two different types of microorganisms can bring about the biological nitrogen fixation. Okay, so one is the root nodules of leguminous plants contain the rhizobium microorganism. So if you look at the picture alongside, these are the root nodules of the leguminous plants. Okay, and they have this rhizobium microorganism. So they help in fixing. Now let's see, these microorganisms absorb atmospheric nitrogen and convert it into nitrate, a compound. So that is how the that is how the nitrogen is absorbed by the plants. Now, microorganisms like azotobacter are present in the soil, and they also convert atmospheric nitrogen into nitrates. Now, do you know that atmospheric fixation of nitrogen? Now, lightning, thunderbolts occur in the rainy season. So we know lightning occurs in the form of thunderbolts. Thunder and lightning occur. And this causes the atmospheric nitrogen and oxygen to react with each other to form nitric oxide, and which is again oxidized to form nitrogen dioxide. So the nitrogen dioxide dissolves in rainwater and is converted into nitric acid, which gets added to the soil along with the rainwater. So the acid reacts with different minerals in the soil and convert into salts. So plants use this nitrogen salts for their growth. Now, let's understand the symbiotic nutrition. Now, in some cases, two or more than two different types of plants live together to fulfill their needs of nutrition, protection, and support, etc., with each other's help. Now, this type of nutrition is called the symbiotic nutrition. That is, they help each other. Now, let's see how. Some fungi grow around the roots of some other plants, and these plants supply nutrients to the fungi, and in turn the fungi supplies minerals and water to the plants. So some fungi and algae live together. The fungi provides water, minerals, as well as shelter to the algae, and in return the algae provides food to the fungi. So lichen is an example of symbiosis between algae and fungi. So you can see the picture alongside. This is the picture of the lichen. So here we see that they both the things are helping each other. So this type of nutrition where they help each other. One supplies the nutrients and the other supplies the minerals. So minerals and water is called the symbiotic nutrition. Now let's learn about the heterotopic plants. Now, heterotopic plants do not contain chlorophyll. So, because they do not contain chlorophyll, they are not able to produce their own food. So, how do the heterotopic plants live? From where do they get their food? Now, have you seen a yellow wire-like lifeless climber plant growing on big trees? What is its name? So, its name is a cuscuta. So, the plants that grow on the body of other plants to obtain food are called the parasitic plants, or for example the Loranthus and Cascuta. So these are the plants that cannot produce their own food because they lack chlorophyll. So in other words, they will depend on the other plants for their nutrients. So these plants are called the parasitic plants, and on which they depend, they are called the host plants. Now, due to the absence of chlorophyll, the cascuta is completely dependent on the host plant. That is, it cannot produce its own food at all. So, hence, it is said to be completely parasitic plant. So, it depends totally on the host plant. Now, you must have also observed loranthans that grow on trees. So, these are the pictures of the loranthus plant, and cascuta are wire-like plants that you see.